There is so much disarray and discomfort in this Black Lives Power movement currently in our world today. There is a lot going on. How are you? How are you dealing with it today on my YouTube channel? So on Sunday, I put in my schedule at work, and I guess they forgot to put me in, so I am allotted today off, right? I called in to figure out what unit I was floating to today. They were like, oh, you're not on the schedule. Perfect for me, because I realized last night I'm dealing with some PTSD, you guys. Like, I think for me, the response to all these Black lives and all these Black men dying, right? Women too. I think that my response has been delayed because I think that deep down inside, I don't know how to feel. And I realized last night that I'm dealing with some serious PTSD when it comes to my own child, because my child is, if you guys don't know, 6'4", 214 at 14 years old, right? He will not be 15 until the end of the year. He's a big guy and he's not done growing. So when I see all these Black lives, specifically Black men dying, it causes me extreme discomfort. When I think of mine, because he's so big, I really get uncomfortable, because I really don't think that if he was ever in a situation where the cops were around, I don't think that they would even ask a question, because he's so big. And because of his size, he can be intimidating to people. So I realized last night I'm dealing with some PTSD. And I'm not for sure if I'm dealing with it appropriately. Probably are some things that I could probably do to manage how I'm feeling. I think for a long time, I was extremely unaware of what I was feeling. I was just kind of making precautions and trying to make some changes in my home to keep my child safe and going throughout my day. Social media does not help me, because it's consistent on my feed about these Black kids dying and these Black men dying and these Black women dying at the hands of these overly aggressive police officers. So I think that my response to this stuff is delayed. And I think that the precautions and stuff that I put into place in my home and speaking to my child, I think I fear that no matter what I do and that no matter what I say, if he was to be approached with the situation, I still fear, right? Because we can no longer say, do as you're told. If they say, put your hands up, put your hands up. If they say, don't move, right? We have countless amounts of people who have died doing all the right things, right? Then if you speak up for yourself, right? And if you speak up, they consider that as being defiant, and that too puts them in harm's way. So I think that a lot of my discomfort comes from me not knowing how to guide him. I just support him as best I can. Then people will say, you got to pray. You got to stay prayed up. I'm a Muslim. I pray. Before I was Muslim, I was a Christian. George Floyd's mom was praying, right? Breonna Taylor's mom was praying. So I think it's doesn't sit right with me, doesn't make me feel any more comfortable that I feel like I'm praying and I'm laying the things down. These people's families were praying for them as well. So I think that in the midst of all this going on, I've been harboring some feelings that I really don't know how to express or to put into play. I do notice that for me in my home, I'm overly clingy, probably. I don't feel 100% comfortable unless my seed is with me at all times. When he's with me, I feel like he's safe. When he's not, I have a fear, right? So this is just me expressing how I feel about all this mayhem and craziness. I'm super duper concerned about the fate of our kids. I'm super duper overprotective I feel like I can be so overbearing because I'm so worried about him that I don't allow him to be a child, to do things, to learn, to grow. So I think some of my struggle is that I want mine to grow up and be a man. Even though I'm a single mother, I try to teach him all that I can about just being a man and doing what men should do, right? Even around the house. And I feel like the simple things like him going to get the mail or him taking the trash out on trash day are things that I'm no longer comfortable with him doing because I'm too scared he'll go out there and somebody will have something to say, or just in that 30 seconds that he's outside, it'll be a confrontation. And as we're speaking about it, I'm getting short of breath. So between me and you guys, I no longer allow him when I'm not home to get the mail or take the trash out because I'm too scared that it'll be some type of altercation or somebody will say something to him when he's outside. Taking the dog out, right? We have a dog. I allow him to take the dog out once, preferably when my mother is home because she comes and check on him when I'm gone. If he's home, my mother will come check on him so he can take the dog out, preferably when my mother is home. Then that way I can make sure that he is safe and there's no altercation. So in some ways I feel like I'm inhibiting him from growing up and being a man because there are certain things that I will not allow him to do if he is not supervised or within the supervision of an adult. And these are not the issues that I had in the past. Taking the trash out, getting the mail, stuff like that were requirements of his before all this stuff became so prominent. I think too that a lot of this, so we have the situation with the attack on Black people. Before this, well, it's always been that way for years and years and years. What I'm going to say is it's came more to the media. Things are being more recognized and more media coverage on the disrespect and the killing of Black people. But before all of this, George Floyd and all of the coverage on Black lives being taken away, we had the pandemic. And I worked specifically on a COVID unit where all we took care of were COVID patients. I saw a lot of people die. And in the midst of that, I feel like I had to deal with that as well, being a nurse that specifically takes care of COVID patients, right? I have to come home to a 14-year-old, which I'm trying to keep safe and healthy. So we had rules set aside, like, when I come in the house, don't talk. I got to strip down my clothes at the door. I got to go in the house. I got to immediately shower. And then after that, we can kind of like communicate and talk about our day and stuff like that. So I went through dealing with the COVID-19 stuff, the pandemic stuff, and then rolled over right into this Black Power movement of us being tired of them killing our people. So I realized yesterday that I am dealing with some serious PTSD, like post-traumatic, because I feel like in some ways, not in all ways, but the unit I work on, the numbers are not as high. Still high, right? My unit probably can hold maybe 18 beds. And when I was there this last couple of weeks, we're down to like 12. So still a good amount of people we're holding, but not as much as before. But so I feel like post-traumatic because being in the peak of it, I mean, we didn't have enough beds to see these people. And now it appears as if where I work, there's not as many. So post-traumatic, I'm dealing with that. And now I'm dealing with this situation with this Black Power movement, which is necessary. And it is scary. And I'm not somebody that scares easy, if at all. And I will admit that this whole situation between the COVID-19 and between Black Lives Movement, Black Lives Power movement, I'm definitely having some issues with being okay. And last night I realized I'm not okay. And I want to apologize because I feel like all the videos on my page are motivational, positive, on the up and up. That is what I do. That is who I am. Always uplifting, always having something positive to say. So I apologize if you guys came into my page and saw this video and it just was not my normal self. I will admit I'm not feeling normal. And even though I am continuously uplifted, even though I'm continuously in a positive light, and if I'm not in a positive light, fighting for it, I just apologize if you guys feel like you came to my page for some uplifting words and I didn't give it to you today. I felt it important to speak about this situation because it's so prominent in the world we live in today. It's a bit discouraging. This is 𝗕𝗹𝗂 I do appreciate you guys, all your positive comments, all the love you guys have, all the respectful things you guys say to uplift me and keep me moving. Let me know how you're dealing with this, how you're coping with all that we're going through. I feel like as a country and as a culture, we are dealing with a lot. I would love to hear how you guys are dealing with it. Send me some positive, kind words to continuously keep me uplifted. I'm super funny about my energy and about what I display around my seed because I have to make sure that I'm pumping positive energy into him as well because I want him to always stay uplifted. So if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. It's 𝗕𝗹𝗂. Thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, and reposting my videos. I appreciate you guys. I am a Black woman. I'm raising a Black son, and Black Lives Matter. And please continue to support the movement for equality, and please continue to support the movement for everybody being treated as equal, no matter what.